What's going on, everybody? David here, back with another video. So today we're going to talk about how to make money with credit cards. And if you want to know exactly what I'm talking about, check the link up above. I did post a video, so watch this video first and then go back and watch that video. And I explain exactly how you can make money with credit cards. But I want to focus on one thing. I had a lot of people in the comment section say, I can't qualify for a credit card. I have bad credit. So that's what we're going to talk about today. If you have bad credit, how can you get a credit card? How do you get started? How do you improve your credit? So that's the focus today. But first off, you guys can do me a favor. Please hit the like button. It does help with the YouTube algorithm. Also, please subscribe to the channel. Hit that little bell notification. That way you'll get notified anytime we put out a video. Okay, so we want to talk about people who have bad credit or are trying to rebuild their credit. So that's what we're focused on today. So let's go ahead. I'm going to move over here so you guys can see what I'm looking at here, the screen. So this is the Capital One Platinum card. Now, this is a secured credit card. And what that means is a secured credit card means that they want a deposit. So they're going to want some money from you, and then they will hold that just to make sure that you're paying your credit card off. And if you don't pay your credit card off, now they have your money already. So it's less risk for the bank. And that's why they do this. But if you have bad credit, it's going to be very, very difficult for you to get a credit card because they're going to look at you and they're going to say you're not credit worthy. And so they will deny you a credit card. But if you get a secured credit card, most secured credit cards, they know where you're coming from. It's about rebuilding. And so because of that, they're a little more open to give you a credit card, but they're going to require a deposit. So we're going to take a look at the Capital One credit card. So, and just if I didn't state this, you have secured credit cards and you have unsecured credit cards. Unsecured credit cards are just the regular credit cards. You apply online, regular credit card. They send it out to you. You don't have to put any deposit in or anything like that. But a secured credit card, yes, you do have to put that deposit in. All right, so let's take a look at this credit card first, and then I'm going to show you my strategy. So wait till the end because I'm going to show you the strategy on how to use this credit card, the secured credit card, and advance to an unsecured credit card. So you advance to the regular credit card, and then that's when you really start building your credit. And then you can start getting some of these other credit cards that I talked about in the video that I posted a couple of days ago. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Capital One Platinum card. And you see here in big letters, says rebuilding. So credit level rebuilding. So they understand that you're coming from a place where you're trying to either rebuild your credit or you're new to credit. So you're young, you don't have any credit at all. So you're trying to establish credit. So that's what this card is all about. All right. Now let's take a look at the annual fee. This is very important when you start talking about credit cards, especially travel credit cards. You're going to start realizing that some of these cards require an annual fee. And so there's two trains of thought when it comes to that. Some people like them, some people don't. I personally don't mind an annual fee credit card because I travel a lot and I get benefits from the travel. And so that offsets the annual fee. But if you don't travel a lot, annual fee credit cards, you might want to stay away from because you're probably not going to be able to justify that annual fee if you don't travel that often. Okay, so the annual fee, zero annual fee, so that's good. Now, the purchase rate, the APR, this is the interest. So if you do not pay your credit card off, you're going to pay 27%. That's a lot. 27%, right? So the key here is you need to pay your credit cards off in full every month. That never changes. Any credit card that you have, the APR should never mean anything to you. It doesn't mean anything to me. I have multiple credit cards. I don't care what the APR is on them because I always pay them off every month. So I never have to pay that APR. So it doesn't even need to be on here when it comes to when I'm looking at a credit card. I'm not even looking at that. I could care less. Okay, so let's look at how this all works. So the required security deposit. Now, this is based on your current credit. So they're looking at your current credit. You're either going to pay $49, $99, or $200. Okay, and that's refundable, so you will get it back if you close the account, you will get that money back. So it's not something that you're going to lose forever. But they have it there on reserve just in case you're not paying off your credit card. So they have your money. So it gives them a little more security when it comes down to it. All right. You also need to have an authorized bank. You have to have a bank account. Okay. So you can't just get this card without a bank account. So just keep that in mind. Okay. So the initial credit limit is $200. So that's where you are when it comes to credit limit. Now, with this card, I don't recommend paying a little extra to try to get more credit. You don't need to do that with this card. This is trying to rebuild your credit. That's what you're focused on. You're going to get other cards in the future. 6 months down the road, you can get another card. And then that card, then you can start really working on your credit limits and things like that. But you don't really need to focus on that with this card here. This is a temporary card that you're getting. Okay, so this is important here. Automatic credit line reviews. So they're going to look at your credit history once you've had this card for, what does it say, 6 months, a little as 6 months. And at that time, they can determine, okay, you know what? We're going to move them from a secured credit card, this card here, to an unsecured credit card. And so that's what you want. You want to get that unsecured credit card. Now, they say that they will automatically do this. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in the end when I show you kind of exactly the steps to take, because you might want to contact them. It might be a little easier to do that. Okay, personalized payments. So you can set up your payment plan, your payment method, all that good stuff. Like I said, it's easy. Pay it off every month. Do not carry a balance ever. And on this card, you're not going to put that much money on this card. You'll see what I'm talking about. Okay, so here they're just showing you exactly the steps that you have to take. So you're going to apply for it. And then once you get approved, then they're going to ask you to make a deposit. And it depends on what your current credit history is right now. And then that will determine if you're going to pay $49, $99, or $200. And then 2 to 3 weeks, they'll send out a card. Now, that's a long time, 2 to 3 weeks. Usually they get those cards out fast, 5 to 7 days, business days usually. So they're saying 2 to 3 weeks. So it takes them a little while longer to send those out to you. Now, these are some of the perks when it comes to the credit card. You have the account alerts, which is good. When you have any credit card, one of the things that I really like about credit cards is a credit card is not tied to my bank account, whereas my debit card is tied to my bank account. So if I'm using my debit card, and let's say I'm traveling and I'm using my debit card, which I really, really recommend not doing, but let's say your account is compromised and they're able to take out money directly from my bank account because it's tied to my bank account. Whereas if I have a credit card, it's not tied to my bank account. So if they get my credit card, yes, they can run up my credit card, but you have the protections there in place. You'll get the alerts and they will do their own investigation. Credit card companies will do this, and then they'll go ahead and take it off your account. So you don't have to pay anything, which is good. So you're not in a situation where if it's tied to my bank account, they've taken the money out already, and now I have to wait for the investigation to finish before I can get my money back. It's not like that with a credit card, because all they're going to do is they're going to run that credit card up. You're going to say, hey, I didn't make those purchases. They're going to look into it, realize you didn't make the purchases, and it's a wash. You're not losing any money. You don't have to wait temporarily while they investigate your account to put that money back into your account. So it's a lot better to use your credit card anywhere you go, especially if you're traveling. Okay, and here's another thing that's important: auto pay. Now, I know I told you need to pay it off in full every month, but also have auto pay set. So have auto pay if it's minimum payment, whatever you want to say, $100, whatever you want to put on there, but have that auto pay set up. And the reason that you do that, it's not because you're waiting for it to do the auto pay. You're going to pay it in full every month before that auto pay kicks in. But just have that just in case of an emergency. Let's say you're out traveling somewhere and you get stuck somewhere and you can't get close to a computer so you can make that payment, or God forbid you get sick and you're in the hospital and you can't make the payment. You at least have this auto pay set up. That way it will automatically pay it and you're not going to have any late payments. So that's the only reason that I have auto pay set. So I have it set up on all my credit cards. It's also a good reminder too, because I have a text message that will let me know, hey, auto pay will kick in on this date if you do not make your payment. So that's good too. So it reminds me again, oh yeah, I need to make my payment. All right. Authorized users. That's not something I'm going to get into. This is a card for rebuilding your credit. So you're not going to have any authorized users on this card. But authorized users, if you are an authorized user on someone else's card, that can help your credit as well. I'll save that for a different video. But when it comes to authorized users on this card, yeah, that's not something that you're going to want to do. Okay, 24/7 customer service. This is another reason why you want to go with the big banks. Okay, you want to go with Capital One, Discover, Chase, American Express. You want to go with these big companies when it comes to credit cards because that customer service, you want that 24-hour customer service, and you want to have a good experience when you call them, because usually when you're calling your credit card company, there's been an issue. You either lost your credit cards, or you need to get one sent out to you really fast because you're in another country. I mean, there's so many different things that can go wrong when it comes to credit cards. And so you want to make sure you have a reputable company that can take care of any situation and get another credit card out to you fast. Okay, so looking at some of the protections here, and I'm just going to go through a few of them, but you see here, you get the security alerts. This is really good. So you'll know anytime someone uses your card. That's always something good to have. They have this virtual card number. Now this is pretty interesting. So if you're shopping online, they give you a different card number. So it's not the actual card number on your credit card, and it's like a temporary card number. That way it gives you that encryption. So it gives you that extra added protection. So that's good. The account alerts, you get that. I talked a little bit about that. Okay, credit-wise. Now, this is something interesting. So if your credit report changes, they're going to notify you. So Experian and TransUnion, if those credit bureaus change, they're going to notify you and let you know, hey, something's going on with your account, just so you can check it out. So if you're in a situation where you apply for a new credit card, they do a hard pull, they're going to notify you so you'll know that there's been a hard pull on your credit. So that's good, because if it's not you, then you're going to know someone else is trying to get a credit card under your account. All right, so let me show you this one other thing here. Now, with this secured credit card, you can also see if you're pre-approved. So that's good. And that's for all these cards. So for the Quicksilver card and for this Platinum MasterCard, you can look and see if you're pre-approved, which I think is a real benefit for those of you who think, oh, well, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to qualify, so why even do it? You can see if you're pre-approved. Now, they do say that if you have a bankruptcy and it's still pending, that you're not going to be able to qualify for this card. So that's the main way that you won't qualify is if you have like a bankruptcy and it's still an ongoing bankruptcy. All right, now we're going to go ahead and take a look at this. So I created this little diagram to kind of go over. This is the strategy. This is how I would go about improving my credit. So Capital One secured credit card, this Capital One Platinum, that's the card that we're talking about here. So you're going to apply for the card. You're going to make that deposit. And then you're going to spend $20 per month. Now, you remember when they said your credit limit would be $200, right? You don't want to go over 10% of your credit utilization. And so what I mean by that, when you're talking about credit utilization, it's basically how much credit do you have available and how much of that credit are you using? You don't want to use more than 10% of that credit at any given time. So that's why I'm saying spend $20 per month, pay that off in full every month. Now, there it is. Pay it off in full every month. Now, in 6 months, you want to inquire about an unsecured credit card. So you can call them on the phone and just say, hey, I've had this credit card for 6 months. I've been making my payments on time. And I think they say if you make 5 consecutive payments on time, then they will consider you for a new credit card or an unsecured credit card. So just something to think about when it comes down to it. I would call them, be a little more proactive and say, hey, this is, I've had the card for 6 months, because that will hit that 6 month mark. So you'll get the card, you'll pay that first month and you'll pay the second month. So after you paid 5 months consistently, you're going to be six months in. I think that makes sense, right? You have to wait 2 to 3 weeks to get the card. Once you get the card, you start spending, and then you're going to be, paying from that point on. So it'll be about 6 months before you'll qualify for another card. Okay. Now, once you've applied for the card, one other thing that you should do is get credit monitoring. Now, we talked, you saw the Capital One, they have credit monitoring. You can get online. There are a lot of free services that will provide credit monitoring, as well as you can get your FICO score. The one that I use is Experian. I do pay for it, but it gives me some extra added benefits. That's why I'm doing that. But when it comes down to it, you need to know what your FICO score is, because you need to know where you're starting from when it comes to the credit cards. Because once you get your credit around 700, 720, then you can qualify for most travel credit cards, most cashback credit cards. You can qualify for most of those. So that's your goal, but you need to know where you're starting from in order to get to that goal. All right, so I hope that was helpful. I just wanted to run through. I wanted to answer that question because there are a lot of people that had that in the comment section saying that they do not qualify or they can't qualify for a credit card. You can qualify for most secured credit cards. All you need to do is apply, and they'll give you even more information. You can call if you want to call Capital One. Call them up on the phone, say, hey, this is my situation. Do you think I'll qualify? Or do the pre-qualification online. But in most situations, you can get a secured credit card. So that's all I have for you guys today. So anyone can get a credit card. Just remember, secured credit card, that's where you want to start if your credit is not good, and then you can work your way into some of these other credit cards. So if you guys have any questions, post them down below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.